Good afternoon, Pool Player Nation. Welcome to this Billiards Digest Live special report. This week, the top professional pool players from across the globe have gathered in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia for the World 9-Ball Championship. BD Live's Mike Pinozzo has made the long journey to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and is on the ground this week to cover all the action. Mike, are you with us? There you are. Mike, good to see you. How was your journey to Saudi Arabia?
Well, it was actually very good because I spent a week in Ireland before I came here. So I got my jet lag out of the way, and now I went from rain every day to, a zillion degrees in the shade. No, it's great. It's nice to be here.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you made it safely. So, Mike, this event, we've got $1 million prize purse. We've got a champion that's going to take home a whopping $250,000. Which for the most part is pretty unheard of in the pool world. I've seen some of the pictures online, but if you would, just paint us a picture of the scene over there at the venue. Tell us a little bit about the environment, the players' level of excitement, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it is amazing. I mean, we showed a little bit of, show some photos. I think you guys have a little bit of video of the arena itself. What they did with the arena, it's in a beautiful stadium here in Jeddah, and arena, and it's just gorgeous. Matchroom always does a very nice job, beautiful job with their arena setup, and then you hook Matchroom up with a backpacker like the Saudi Ministry of Sport, and they just kind of went over the top here. It's, as I told Emily Fraser from Matchroom, I'm sorry, but future events from here are really going to be kind of boring. And you can see the excitement in the players. I mean, it's really noticeable, the energy and the vibe that you get from the players who are here, that this is different. This is something special. And it's not just the prize money. It's everything got stacked on top of everything to present what they're presenting this week. It's all over the top. We've got an enormous fan section outside, area for fans to hang around with, play pool, and we've got ice cream cones with all the scoops of different ball colors, and so it's really, they kind of really went over the top here, and it's really pretty special.
That sounds amazing. It sounds like the action is going on there in the background. Mike, I'm curious. Looking at that video, looks like a pretty large arena. I'm curious. I mean, what's the seating look like? Are they expecting a full house? I mean, what's the turnout been? And I know it's early.
Yeah, it's the first day. They didn't start until 7 in the evening here, and so they really didn't expect much the first day. But there's good social media coverage of the event already, and there is way more seating than they're ever going to fill. But it's, they've got some very nice VIP seating areas. The views of the 3 TV tables are terrific. I'm hoping that they can get, a fair number of people here. Even if they don't the first year, it's a 10-year deal. That you start someplace, you build a little momentum, you get people excited, they watch it on local television, and maybe next year they're a little more excited about coming out here. But we've got a whole week ahead of us, and I'm hoping by the end of the week with the local coverage that it will be a pretty healthy crowd here.
Nice. So let's talk a little bit about the American contingent over there in Saudi Arabia. How many Americans are on the ground in Saudi playing in the World 9-Ball Championship? How many are we looking at? Who's over there?
So there are 11 players over here, including SVB, Federer, Gorst, Skylar Woodward, Tyler Steyer, Billy Thorpe, the usual suspects, and then BJ Usseries, Oscar Dominguez, Hunter Lombardo, Jeremy Soe. So there's 11 Americans here. 6 of them are in action tonight. And the only surprise of the first round, unfortunately, is that Skylar Woodward lost his opening match to Taiwanese player Po Cheng Kuo, 9-5. So that's a little disappointing. The thing going in his favor is that it's a 128 player field, and it's double elimination till the final 64, and then it goes to single elimination. So even with a loss, he's got to go on the loser side now and win 2 or 3 matches to get to that final 64. So it's not a huge long road to get back into it, but he's going to have his work cut out for him because 128 field was pretty stout as far as talent. So the loser's bracket's not going to be a whole heck of a lot easier than the winner bracket would have been.
Yeah, well, we'll have to keep our eye on Sky. Hopefully he can make his way to the one-loss side in that final 64. In terms of the Americans that are there, obviously the prize money itself was a good draw. But also, the winner of this event should have a pretty significant leg up in terms of the Mosconi and the Reyes Cup. Isn't that right, Mike?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this event, this is a game changer for the Mosconi Cup team for U.S., for Europe, the Reyes Cup team for Asia. You're talking about such a huge difference. I mean, first prize here is $250. Fourth prize, third and fourth, is $50,000 each, which is only $10,000 less than Francisco Sanchez-Ruiz made for winning the World Championship last year. So because points for all these teams are based on prize money earned, anybody who finishes in the top 8 is going to put a significant dent into the players ahead of them, for any of those 3 teams.
Nice. Well,
so if there's a surprise in the final 8, final 4, it's going to have a big impact.
No doubt about it. So let's talk a little bit about, favorites here in the event. Obviously, you've got Josh Filler, you've got Petter Gorst, you've got Shane Van Boning, the defending champ, Francisco Sanchez-Ruiz. Odds-on favorite to win this thing, Mike, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, odds-on, it's going to be Josh or Feder or Shane. Those would be the top 3 betting favorites. But, what we just saw with the recent UK Open is that none of the Final 4 players had ever won a Matchroom event before or even a big Open title anywhere before. So, you can get those type of runs in events like this, especially when it's single elimination from final 64. You can win a couple of big games and all of a sudden you're in the final 8, you're in the final 4. That's a big deal. So you could get, a Robbie Capito. You could get a Misko Fortunski, guys who were in the UK Open Final 4. All of a sudden, again, if they make a deep run here, not only are they in line for 250, but, they pretty much solidify their spots on Team Europe or Team Asia or Team USA.
Yeah. So let's change directions a little bit. I know there are several Saudi players, participants represented in the event. Curious if there are any dark horse candidates from either Saudi Arabia or maybe other players from the Middle East region in general that keep an eye on?
Yeah, they brought in 9 or 10 Saudi players into this event, give them a little taste of it. A lot of this is built around the development of pool in Saudi Arabia and in the Middle East over the next decade. That's part of the whole plan. And so they introduced a number of Saudi players here. Walid Al-Balki played in the opening match against Francisco Sanchez-Ruiz, so he got thrown into the fire pretty quickly, got on the TV table right away. But it wasn't a very long match. Francisco pretty much ate him up. So I don't think there's high expectations from the Saudi players. Now, from other players in the Middle East, there are decent expectations. Kuwait has had some great players, Omar Al-Shaheen and Abdullah Al-Wadi, players like that. So there's some Middle Eastern players who can certainly, have the talent to make a run and would generate a lot of publicity in this area if they were to make a deep run in this event.
Yeah, well, that'll be something interesting to keep our eye on, not just for the event this year, but moving forward, and what kind of talent pool starts to emerge out of Saudi and the Middle East in general, with things going on there. So the action there is going to continue until Saturday. Is that right, Mike?
Saturday. Everyone, Saturday evening here, early afternoon in the U.S. There are, as far as following the World Pool Championship during the course of the week, you can watch it in the U.S. on DAZN. You can also watch Table 2 and Table 3 on Matchroom.live, and you can follow the event on WNTLivescores.com. So there's a couple ways to follow it during the week and keep an eye on, how your favorites are doing, or, you can watch a little bit of the action.
Nice. Well, we'll definitely be following along. Mike, I know you're anxious to get back to covering the matches and seeing things play out, but before you go, I'm curious, any plans for you personally outside of the arena while you're there? I mean, I know no cocktails for you while you're in Saudi Arabia. I don't know what you do over there. Camel races, or what's there to do in Saudi?
Yeah, well, I'm, flying carpet races, something, I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting area. I've never been to the Middle East before. I got to chatting a little bit with someone from the Ministry of Sport, which is behind all of the money being put into this event. And he invited me to give him a call and take a ride around town and go have a coffee and see a little bit of the sights. So I'm definitely going to take him up on that because I'm interested to see it. This is a very different part of the world for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I hope you get the opportunity to find some personal time while you're there working hard and bringing us all the latest updates. So, Mike, we'll let you get back to the action for now. Appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know we had to work through some technical issues between here and the other side of the world, but glad we got them straightened out, and I hope you enjoy the event, and we look forward to hearing more from you later this week.
Thanks. It was worth the wait for sure, and we'll get all that sorted out and keep coming in, popping in with updates as often as you guys want.
All right. Sounds good, Mike. Folks, appreciate you joining us this afternoon. We will have continuing coverage of this year's World 9-Ball Championship from Billiards Digest Live later this week. Thanks for tuning in.